Welcome to the Wealthologist Weekly. I am Chris Hobart, the Wealthologist, your host. And today I wanted to dive kind of deep into what I think is a pressing issue. The question is, are we in the middle of a debt spiral? Is it already here? So let's unpack the numbers and the implications for our economy, for investments, and for the future of financial planning. So let's go back to last year. In 2023, Washington, D.C.'s fiscal story, it was kind of a tale of imbalance. The federal government spent a staggering, hold on, $6.3 trillion, trillion with a T. Now, they only collected $4.5 trillion in taxes, which created a $1.8 trillion gap, which propelled the national debt to really an eye-watering $34 trillion by the end of December 2023. Now, here's the thing, it's not just stopping there. But there's a twist to all of this. You see, last year, the Supreme Court did a ruling that impacted the government's books. The court, if you recall, they struck down part of President Biden's student loan forgiveness proposal. Now, how does that calculate into here? Well, here's the thing. It didn't significantly alter the government's cash flow, but it allowed the Department of Education to adjust their loan portfolio value by about $300 billion. What's that mean? Well, this adjustment, oddly, it actually counted as a negative spending. So it actually reduced the official budget deficit. Kind of weird, right? So the reported $1.8 trillion deficit is kind of misleading. The Treasury, they actually borrowed over $2 trillion to balance the books. Now, I got to tell you, this borrowing pattern has raised alarms. Since June of 2023, when the debt ceiling suspension kicked in, Treasury debt increased by nearly $3 trillion. Now, this includes significant quarterly spikes. So 874 billion in Q2, 835 billion in Q3, 834 billion in Q4. Got to tell you, we haven't seen such rapid debt accumulation since the 2008-2009 financial crisis, barring the exceptional COVID lockdown period. Now, I got to tell you, it's crucial to understand how debt has an ebb and flow nature. So, in March and April of 2023, there was a surge in tax receipts, obviously. Now, this possibly helped fuel or kind of helped get the proportion going by the S&P 500's impressive 24% rise last year, and that helped briefly reduce debt. Now, the Congressional Budget Office now projects a 13.4% increase in individual income tax payments in 2024, which could help bring the deficit down to about $1.5 trillion compared to $1.7 trillion in fiscal year 2023. But here's the thing, as the wealthologist, I always urge caution. Current congressional debates on foreign aid measures, they could add to the deficit, and that's regardless of policy merits. And I want to be clear there. Debt is debt. Moreover, while the cost of servicing the debt is increasing, the key metric is actually the net interest relative to GDP, gross domestic product. This is a measure of our national income needed to service the debt. Now, although this is climbing, it's still below the 1980s and 90s average of about 3% of GDP. So that's good. Now, nonetheless, given our expectation of sustained high interest rates, the debt burden, it's likely to increase. So the question that you're probably wondering, what's the bottom line? Well, federal spending is excessively high, and political leaders on both sides, they just appear indifferent at this time. The numbers suggest that we're not in an imminent crisis right now, but the thing is, a gradual erosion of our growth potential is the issue. We've got these great new technologies, and they can help boost productivity, but a burgeoning government debt can act as a significant drag over time. Now, currently, markets, they really seem to be discounting the issue, not a big deal. They're banking on the soft landing and lower interest rates, all things to kind of inflate the economy up. But the more economic growth is stifled, the issue is the less feasible this scenario becomes. So probably what you're asking is, what does it mean for me? You as a financially astute watcher today, how does this impact you? And I think the thing here, it's a good reminder that navigating some complex economic waters can require informed strategic financial planning. As the wealthologist, I'm always committed to help guiding you through the various challenges that are out there, and helping you ensure that your financial goals remain achievable amidst a shifting economic landscape. So I want to thank you today for tuning in once again to the Wealthologist Weekly. And I'm going to encourage you to join us next time as we continue to explore the intersection between wealth and wisdom and financial planning. I'm Chris Hobart, the Wealthologist, wishing you financial health and clarity. And in the future, stay savvy. And until next time.